Hello, thank you so much for joining us today for your yoga practice. I've really been enjoying incorporating functional movements into our yoga, so we're going to continue along that path. You may need a block today, you also may not. Better to have it, not need it. So if you have anything that is a block or could double as a block, get yourself set for that. And we'll begin on the back. Go ahead and lie down, legs long, arms long. Take your shavasana. You can close your eyes. We'll take some time to drop our attention into the body. And begin to take in all the little details of your immediate experience. Noticing where your body meets the floor. And you may even notice if one side feels a little heavier or lighter, or possibly sits higher or lower. There's no need to adjust that, just notice. And start to feel the temperature of the floor, the air. The sensation of the texture of your clothing. You can go ahead and release the jaw. Drop the eyes. Soften all the muscles beneath your scalp. And now begin to breathe into the back of your brain. You might even visualize the breath going into that space. And as you continue to draw out the breath to be a little bit longer, invite your inhales down to your low belly. So you're breathing a line of energy from your belly to your brain. And then simply observing as it comes and goes. And you might also explore creating a more round breath, a spherical breath. So it's not just up and down, but also goes out to the sides and the front and the back. More of a global breath. We'll maintain that inward attention as we move today. Go ahead and slide your feet in. Slide your feet in and take your arms out to cactus. Your feet are about outer hip width distance apart. Keep them planted in the floor. And on an inhale, arch your spine. So you're turning your tail up towards your shoulders. And if I were there, I could slide my hands underneath your low back. You'll feel your chin squeeze towards your chest. And you know what? You might even feel the balls of your feet drop down. So your heels are just a little bit lighter. This is our inhale, so fill up your low belly. Exhale, round your spine, turning your tail up towards your knees. Your hips might lift up off the floor an inch or two, but you don't need to get too carried away with it, not that high. Now tilt your chin up and back, so you're opening the front of the neck, front of the throat. And for the cherry on top, push your elbows into the ground. And as you do this, you may even feel your entire back body light up with strength. This is our exhale. Pull out all the air. Nicely done. Inhale, arch your spine, chin toward the chest, a little space under the low back. Exhale, round your spine. Chin up and back, elbows press way down. And take a few of these at your own pace. Enjoying this cranial sacral rock. And I love this movement. I feel like it's such an effective way to warm up the spine and to coordinate the breath and movement. We got it. Just a few more rounds like this. Notice if you're in a hurry to get through them. And intentionally slow it down just a bit. And finish up the one you're on. And next time you're back to neutral, you can pause for a moment, just be still and feel into the back body. Notice if you've got any extra heat, or any little pulses. All right, we'll take some windshield wipers of the legs. Flop your left leg out to the side. Let it just kind of hang out there. I like to flatten the low back to the mat. So you'll notice my leg doesn't go all the way to the floor when I do that. And that's okay, but it's a little bit more honest, the rotation of my hips. Once you got that kind of dead weight going in the leg, then the top leg can follow. So you got a bit of a zigzag situation. Let the leg bones get heavy, drop. And slide your right arm straight up overhead. So big reach through the right arm, even the tips of the fingers reaching. We'll take an inhale while we're here. Exhale, slide on back to center. Flatten your low back to the mat, so no curve, please. And then slowly start to drop your right leg open to the side. And you might only go as low as you can while continuing to press the low back down. Get a sense of that, this kind of heaviness in the right leg. Then we'll let the top leg follow. Not on top, more beside or staggered with it. So you got a little zigzag going on. And slide your left arm straight up overhead. Big reach, the tips of the fingers. They all stretch through the side body. We'll take an inhale to the low belly while we're here. Exhale, come on back to center. All right, we'll take this with the breath, and I'll give you a little opportunity to add a side bend if you want. So we'll flop the knees to the left. Option to slide your left elbow down toward the left knee, then reach your right arm straight up overhead. A little extra bend. That's your inhale. Exhale, reset in the middle. Try to avoid lifting yourself up, but go for the slide if you can. Knees flop to the right. Option to slide your right elbow toward the right knee, then glide the left arm straight up, big reach, inhale. Exhale, come on back to center. All right, take a few rounds at your own pace. Knees left, maybe side bend, right arm reaches. Resetting. And taking it at your own pace. And as you listen to the sound of your breath as you move, feel the breath in your nostrils with each inhale. And hear the breath gently in the throat as you exhale. You may even let your movements last just a little bit longer than your breath. Actually, switch that out. Let your breath be a little longer than your movements. There we go. Next time you're balanced out on both sides, you can straighten your legs, straighten your arms, take just a breath or two in your Shava. Take a little snapshot of how the body feels. All right, roll yourself over onto your right side. I'm mirroring you. So you're laying on your right side. This is where you may want to use a block under your head. You might not need it, so don't worry if you don't have it. And then you're going to take your bottom arm to 90 degrees. So I've got my wrist right over the elbow there. I'm going to rest my head. And then take your top hand here and place it on top. So you have this kind of I Dream of Jeannie thing going on. Now, I want you to push your top and bottom hand into each other with about, I don't know, let's say like 20% of your effort. And then let your top arm win as you start to lower this down toward the ground. Slow and steady with just a little bit of gentle resistance. And you might hit a point where you're like, I cannot go any lower. And that's where you'll stay. Might stay in that stationary position, continue to resist. And then we'll take it back the opposite direction, which for me I find to be a lot more challenging. Going back to our starting point, back to that 90-degree perpendicular to the floor. All right, now let's up The resistance, about 50% of your effort. So stay stationary, find that 50%, and then begin your movements. Slowly lowering. Notice where you start to get the yellow light, and you want to stop just before you get to the red, right? Play it safe. Then once you've stayed stationary for maybe a breath or two, maintain your 50% resistance as you bring it back the opposite direction. Whew. All right, final round. This time it's a freebie. I'm gonna go to about 80% effort. If you wanna stay at 50, if you wanna go back down to 20, all you. We'll do one more round with the resistance level of your choice. Notice what parts you would like to rush through. Notice at what point your bones start to speak to you. Whew. Almost there. Nicely done. Next time you're back to your 90, no rush. You can flop onto your back and pause momentarily, take in the sensations of your right arm there. You might feel a whole lot of heat, a whole lot of sensation, or maybe none at all, who knows? Let's switch it out. You'll roll over onto your left side. I'm gonna switch this around. Taking your bottom arm perpendicular to the floor, maybe resting your head, you don't have to, and then placing your top hand above the bottom. Find first 20% resistance and then begin to lower. A little bit of shaking and quivering is perfectly natural, perfectly normal. You might notice if you have more or less range of motion on this arm, without judgment, of course. And once you've hung out for a breath or two at your end point, then you'll work it back the opposite direction. Taking your time. Next time you're perpendicular, you can stay with the 20% or take it up to about 50. Once you've found the 50, you'll start the movement. Continue your breath, please. I know it's really easy to hold on to it when you're focusing. Once you've hung out at the end range with 50%, then you can work it back the opposite direction. Oh boy. And then final round, yogi's choice. I'm going to go up to about 75, maybe 80% resistance. You're welcome to choose any level of resistance that you'd like. Notice if you're tightening your jaw or your eyes. You might let that tension go with the breath. Hang out at your end range for just a little bit longer than you wanna before returning back to your starting point. All kinds of shaking over here. Nicely done. You can roll onto your back, take a breath or two, and observe with your mind's eye your left arm, any sensations going on there. All right, folks, bring your knees in. You can cross your heels, rock up and down a few times if you'd like, and we'll meet in tabletop position. In your tabletop, spread your fingers out nice and wide. And in fact, let's bring our big toes together. Knees are gonna be, let's say, shoulder distance apart. Then take a seat on your heels. So we're in a child's pose meets tabletop. Now your fingers are spread out, and I'd like for you to press down through your index finger and your thumb, and consider turning the eyes of your elbows forward. The little pit of the elbow forward, and you'll feel that kind of open through the chest. Now on your inhale, arch your spine. Feel your hands pull back towards your knees in a kind of a weird cow pose. Exhale, round your spine into a cat back, curling your tail under, chin to chest. Feel your hands pull apart. Take a few of these funky cat-cow, child's pose cat-cows on your own. Maybe a little bit more attention in the hands than you normally do. All right, nicely done. Come into a neutral spine. Take your left hand behind your skull. So we've played with this motion before on our low back. We're going to up the ante a little bit, hand behind the skull. Now, carve your tailbone under, so you're taking out the curve of your low back. Index and thumb are firmly rooted. Now on your inhale, twist your chest open, so you're looking back over the left shoulder there. Notice if your left hip lifts up. Drop your left hip down so you're twisting more from the upper back. Once more, inhale here. Exhale, cross that top elbow under the body. Inhale, opening the chest. Keep both hips firmly rooted. Exhale, cross it under. Nicely done. One more like that on your own. And see if you can twist from below the armpit rather than from the arm. All right. Return your hands back into your child's pose tabletop. Totally a thing. And we'll take our right hand behind our head this time. I like to do closed fingers on the top hand. I don't know why, but I find that helps me. Now feel both shins grounding down, and on our inhale, we'll start to twist and open the chest. And let's hang out in this open position for a breath or two. Feel your shin bones dropping, maybe even the tops of the feet grounding. Taking the curve out of the low back if possible. Might even bring your neck into the equation and look back towards the right. We'll inhale here. Exhale, cross it under. Lead from your belly. Inhale and open, unraveling from the navel. Exhale, cross. Use your bottom hand to help you. One more on your own. Letting your breath last just a little bit longer than the movement itself. Beautifully done. You can release that, and we'll come on up into a tabletop. In your table, plant the hands and screw them into the floor, kind of like you're putting the lids onto jars. And keep that in mind, as we're going to do something similar with the feet later. Tuck your toes under and hover your knees above the earth. Take your eyes a few feet forward so that you're long through the back of your neck. And feel your heart lifting up in between the shoulders. Inhale. You can straighten your legs, downward facing dog on your exhale. Feel your hands press down and forward and your feet press down and back. More than okay to bend the knees here if you like. Consider growing your tail back behind you up toward the ceiling. We'll take a version of Sun Salute A, moving with the breath. Drop the knees down, inhale to cow, opening through the heart. Exhale, child's pose. Take a seat back, look inward. Inhale to kneeling, lifting shoulders up over hips, arms reach overhead. Exhale, child's pose, sit back. Tabletop, inhale, lengthen heart away from navel. Exhale, down dog, lifting hips up and back. Table, inhale. Child's, exhale. Inhale to kneeling. Breath is a little longer than your movement. Exhale, child's pose, sit back.
Inhale to table. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take one more full round like that on your own. And if you forget the movements, remember you're looking up on inhales and inward on exhales. And we'll meet in downward facing dog next time you're there. Nicely done, everyone. Actually, let's drop down to tabletop on your knees and then come into this kneeling position that you were just in. And we'll take our right leg out to the side so that our foot and our knee are in the same line. Now, feel your heel and knee pull towards each other. So there's this drawing upwards action. Arms out wide. Reach through the tips of the fingers, get really big. And reach your right arm underneath your left for eagle arms. So one way to eagle arms is just to hang onto your shoulders. Another way is to take the backs of the hands or even the palm to palm together. So whatever version you've got here, continue to bring your heel and knee towards each other, then start to drop your elbows down. As you drop your elbows down, lift your heart up. So you have this kind of balance of opposites with the chest rising and the arms dropping, bringing the potential for a really nice stretch into the shoulders. Practice your breath here. Feel the breath in the nostrils as you inhale, and hearing it gently in the throat as you exhale. Nicely done. Inhale. Can release your arms. Whew. Reach them out wide, and we'll switch out the legs. Left leg out. So heels in line with the knee, and then your heel might be below the opposite knee. So there's a tendency for it to be further out, and that's fine if that's where it needs to be today, but you might consider experimenting with heel below the knee. Arms reach, get a big old stretch in the chest. And switch it out, taking left under right this time, grabbing opposite elbows, or shoulders rather, or taking the hands, backs of hands, or maybe palm to palm. Now first, let's activate the legs. Take your left heel, right knee, pull them towards each other. Lots of lift through the low body there. And as you drop your elbows down, feel your heart lift up. Very much a balance of opposites there. Now, can we maintain the engagement, but allow the breath to be free? Practicing our global spherical breath in the lungs. And allowing your attention to follow each breath, start to finish. Inhale. Exhale, release the arms, give yourself a big stretch. And we'll come back to neutral with the legs. Nothing fancy, head on back to down dog. In your down dog, you might give your head a nod, yes or no. Might take your weight side to side. And here we'll inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Step to the front of your mat. Inhale, lengthen your sternum out from your navel. Exhale, fold, squeeze your belly towards your legs. We'll inhale to stand, big reach through your arms up and overhead. Exhale, release the arms down by the side. All right, let's take a wide stance. Wide stance, so you're open to the long edge of your mat here. And let's do heels in and toes out as we set up for our goddess pose. Heels and toes out. Let's start to bend the knees. I like to do hands to the top and, ooh, that was a good crack. Little locking out the arms and just shift side to side, get used to it. And catch your bearings in this position. And similar to that kneeling posture we just did, we're gonna go for knees over heels. So I'm noticing I need to shorten my stance a bit. So check it out, check out where you're at. Then with your hands inside of your knees, feel your hands pull your knees back. Most of us are probably leaning forward, so you might just gently tip your shoulders back over your hips. Nicely done. Arms to a T, big inhale. Exhale, right arm under left, grab opposite shoulders this time. Stay low with your hips. Inhale, lift your elbows up. Start to circle toward the right. Exhale as you sweep down. So almost like elbows could sweep the floor, even if they're pretty far away. Inhale on the lift up. Taking a semicircle. Exhaling, sweeping down. Nicely done. Continue at your own pace. We'll take one more for a full circle. And the challenge is to keep your hips low even when you're lifting your arms high. Next time your elbows are back in the center, straighten your legs. Release your arms wide to a T. Very much a balanced posture in and of itself. And we'll switch it out. Bend your knees, left arm under the right this time. Sit your hips low as you can. And we'll inhale, elbows up. Circling to the left. Exhale on the descent. Inhales will lift you up. Keep your hips low if you can. Exhales will take you down. Now slow and steady, so you're really working into the back body. One more full circle on your own. Your feet are there to help you. Feel your feet dropping down and apart. Next time you're back in the center, straighten your legs, release your arms. Nice work. Let's turn the toes to face straight ahead and we'll fold ourselves down. So most of y'all know the drill. Hands below your shoulders. If your back is super rounded, bend your knees so you can flatten your back and hang out in this position. If you got the back flat, legs straight, then you might consider walking your hands between your feet, possibly even finding a fold. And we get to enjoy the down-regulating effects of being upside down. You might play with pressing your hands down and forward and your feet down and back, kind of like down dog. Breathing space behind the knees and feeling the tops of the thigh bones lift up. And allow any tension through the spine or the face to fall away. Inhale. Lift up halfway. You can return your hands back to our starting point below the shoulder. And we'll take some transverse lunge pumps. Bending into your right knee, push your right knee way out to the side. And as you do this, see if you can keep the inside of your right foot dropping down, because it usually wants to lift up. Inhale. Exhale, back to center. Other side, bending to your left knee. We'll hold on to the first one. You're pushing your left knee out to the side, keeping that left inner foot dropping down instead of rolling onto the edge. Pushing down through your opposite foot to help out. Inhale here. Exhale, straighten. Now take a few on your own, so you're just cruising back and forth, just exploring your side lunge and allowing your breath to be your guide. Observing how the weight shifts in the feet and seeing if you can provide counterbalance with the opposite foot as you do this. And for extra credit, you might notice if one leg has different range than the other. I know that my left knee doesn't turn out as much as my right, and that's good information for other poses. All right, next, when you are back to center, go ahead and take your hands to your waist. We'll come all the way back. Go ahead and turn your right foot out and come into your warrior two. Scratch that. Just kidding. We'll get there. Keep your legs straight. I want to build this from the ground up before we just head right into our warrior two. Because some of us have done this so many times, it's just unconscious. So let's bring a little bit more consciousness into the process. With your hands to your hips, check out how your hips are seated. For a lot of us, the back hip is hiked up. So we're gonna send the opposite hip forward so that the hips are more level, right? So you might feel that little booty pop in the side, level that out. Very good. All right, now take the hands to the back of your head. And just being in this upright position with the arms is a helpful exercise in and of itself. Now, keeping your hips level, start to slide your front knee forward. Slide your front knee forward, press it toward the outer edge of your foot, then fly the arms open. Inhale here. Exhale, return to your starting point, hands to head. Inhale, bend your front knee. Let the whole action come from the front leg as you push firmly into the back leg. Exhale, return. All right, you got 3 more like this on your own. As the front knee bends, reaffirm the pressure through the back foot. And observing the movement of your hips as you do this. Notice if that back hip begins to pop out. And not the end of the world if it does, but we're just noticing our habits of movement. All right, next time you're back in your starting point, you can keep your hands on the back of your head. Just go ahead and swish out your feet. Front foot straight ahead. You again, make sure that your heels are lined up with one another. I'm going to take a little bit wider stance for this side. Let's do hands to the hips for a moment. Notice if your back hip is popped out, use your hands to level that. And even just that right there is quite a stretch to the inner thighs there. Return hands to the back of your head. Press into your back foot as you start to slide your front knee forward. Inhale, arms open wide. Exhale, return straight leg, hands to head. Inhale, find your bend. Exhale, return. About 3 more on your own. And taking note of the weight in your feet as you do this. You may even think of when we screwed the heels of the hands in the floor, like we were putting lids on jars earlier. You may even think of doing that with your feet here. All right, nicely done. Next time you're at your starting point, you can pivot your feet to face the front of your mat or invisible mat, and just go ahead and drop down to a lunge. Step back into a plank pose, squeeze your heels together, grind the heels of the hands into the floor. We'll inhale to come to the tips of the toes. Exhale, lower. Inhale to a cobra or an up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause, take a few breaths. Check in, notice if you've got any extra heat going on. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Step or float to the front of your mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and fold. Inhale to stand, reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, bend your knees and touch the ground with the fingertips. Preparing for chair pose. Inhale, go ahead and lift your arms. Take the curve out of your low back, and as you look down, make sure you can see your toes. So you might need to slide your knees back a bit. Feel your ribs closing down towards your hips. I like to feel the big toes squeeze towards each other and then the heels pull apart. I feel like it really activates the inner thighs in a really helpful way. Preparing for a twist here. Inhale, get a little more length. Exhale, open arm twist to the right. So reaching your fingertips in opposite directions. For some of us, this is going to be where it's at. So as we go through our reps, you'll stick with the arms open. For others, you might consider connecting your hands together and pressing the elbow outside of the knee. Once you've arrived in your version of the pose, start to practice your breath. Together, we'll take an inhale. Look down. As you shift the weight into your right foot, exhale your left knee to chest and your arms up. We'll come in and out of this a few times. Inhale. Exhale, twist to the right. Looking down, inhale, left knee to chest, arms up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist. Two more on your own. Use your eyes to help out. Making your standing legs strong as your foundation. Beautiful job. Next time you're in your twist, we'll inhale to a chair pose facing forward. Exhale, forward fold. Take a little breather. Might shake your head yes or no. Send some nurturing breaths into the space behind the knees. Feel free to flutter the lips if you'd like. Second side, bend your knees enough to touch the earth with your hands, and we'll inhale to our chair pose. Set up your feet, make sure you can see your little toesies down there. Inhale for a little more length. And exhale, open arm twist to the left. Now, usually your left hip wants to twist with you, so you might ever so gently just guide your left hip forward. Friends who are taking the full twist, connect your hands, take your elbow outside of your knee. I'm nursing a low back injury, so I'm gonna stay in this first version. Focus through the eyes. Look down towards the floor. Shift all the way into your left foot, and on your inhale, take your right knee to chest, hands to heart. Flare your toes, we'll hold on to the first one. Push your standing thigh bone back, relaxing your tailbone down. Inhale here. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, knee to chest. Exhale, twisting left. 3 more like that on your own. Breath lasts a little longer than the movement. Feel the breath in your nostrils as you inhale. And hear the breath in your throat as you exhale. Nicely done. Beautiful job. Next time you're in your side twist, we'll inhale to chair pose facing forward. Exhale, forward fold. Wonderful job. Inhale to half lift. Go ahead and step your left leg back so you're coming into a lunge. And spin your back heel to the floor, kind of like you're setting up warrior one in your legs. And from here, you'll lift all the way up into your warrior one. Focusing through the eyes here as you slide your front knee forward, sit your hips low as you lift up high through your side waist. So we'll have a few options here for these repetitions and we'll slowly build. So feel free to stop at any point through this repetition. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, sweep your hands back, heart forward. Inhale, warrior one. You're welcome to stay with that repetition or we'll add. Exhale, reach your arms back. Listen close. Inhale your back knee to chest, hands to heart. Exhale, step back, float the arms. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, sweep back. Continuing to add. Inhale, knee to chest, hands to heart. Flare your toes as you exhale, warrior three, send your heel back. Stay or inhale your arms forward. Hold for exhale. Slow and steady, warrior one, inhale. Exhale, sweep back. Inhale, left knee to chest, hands to heart. Exhale, send your heel back, warrior three. Inhale, arms forward if they're not already. Hold for exhale. One more like that. Inhale, warrior one, lifting up. Exhale, reach back. Inhale, back knee to chest, hands to heart. Exhale, send your heel back. Option for arms forward, inhale. Tighten it up, exhale. Beautiful job. Inhale to warrior one, arms up. Exhale, release your hands down to frame your foot. Step back to downward facing dog. Allow your breath to smooth out. Let the heart rate start to slow. Feel into any pulses or sensations in the right leg. Left foot steps forward. Set up your warrior one through the back foot. And we'll inhale. Let your hips be low and your arms up high. Lots of focus behind the eyes, almost as if they were another set of feet. Inhale. Exhale, hands back, heart forward. Inhale, warrior one. You're welcome to continue to repeat that. Exhale, sweep forward. Inhale, back knee to chest, hands to heart. Stay for the exhale. We'll hold on to this one. Feel your thigh bone, standing thigh bone push back. Lifted toes spread wide. Breathing your heart up and away from the hips. Inhale. Exhale. Step back, sweep your arms alongside of you. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, arms back. Inhale, back knee to chest. Option, exhale, warrior three. Send your heel back. Inhale, arms forward if you'd like. Stay for an exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, warrior one. Sit low through the front knee. Exhale, sweep your arms back, hover your chest over your thigh. Inhale, back knee to chest, hands to heart. Exhale, warrior three. Option for arms forward as you inhale. Hold, exhale. Inhale, warrior one. One more like that on your own. Meeting in warrior one when you're ready. Exhale, hands to the earth. Stepping back to your plank pose, option for vinyasa, or simply rest in your down dog. Honoring any little beads of sweat that may have formed. See if you can hear your heartbeat. Listening deeply to the texture of your breathing. And sensing the aliveness in your body. All right, step your right foot forward, setting up for twisted monkey pose. Drop your back knee down. Now I'm gonna face forward so you can see me a little bit better. So you take your hands inside of your foot and then turn your front foot out like 30 degrees. So I don't even know if you can see that. Yeah, there you go. So turning your front foot out, then I'm gonna take my opposite hand forward and then turned out about 30 degrees so that my bicep can turn out. Now pull your front heel, back knee towards each other and feel your tailbone carve under. Option to take your right hand onto the knee. And I'm not pushing it, but I'm just gently kind of guiding it out. Then just like we did in that weird child's pose rotation, turn your chest up open to the side. Option to look back over the shoulder. Now, lots of variations possible here. You can stay here. You might reach your right arm back, enjoy a little half bind. You might also take the quad stretch and bend your back knee. I'm taking it easy today, so I'm gonna kick it in this first variation. Once you've got it, here's where we practice our breathing. Find that global spherical breath. Letting your attention follow from top to bottom. Last few, you might even find the element of back bending in the upper back. Inhale. Exhale, carefully release. You can return your hands back to where you found them. Tuck your back toe, lift your back knee, and take your time switching it out. Opposite leg forward. Back knee down. Returning the front toes out to the side, and then taking the opposite hand, right hand forward and out. Now as you squeeze your front heel, back knee towards each other, pull them together and feel your tailbone carving under. So you're taking the curve out of the low back, and that prioritizes the rotation into the upper back. So as we turn the upper back to the side, find whatever you want to do with this top arm. Maybe it just hangs out on the thigh. Maybe it finds a half bind. Or you may also bend your back knee and enjoy the quad twist. And wherever you are, think of growing your top shoulder away from your front knee. Finding that little gentle element of back bending in the upper back. Practicing your spherical global breath. Inhale. Exhale, release. Very well done. Back to center. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and come on back to downward facing dog. Take a breath or two. Of course, you can always take a vinyasa if that's calling to you. Okay, right foot steps forward. Spin your back foot down, kind of like warrior one, but come up with straight legs. Come on up with straight legs. Okay. Use your hands to square your hips forward, so you're facing forward. We'll kind of play with our revolved triangle rep. So reach your left arm up by your ear. Inhale, get a big extension through the front body. And exhale, keep your bicep by your ear as you lower your hand onto your front foot. And you're more than welcome to bend your front knee as much as you need to make that happen, but do make contact with the front foot. And we'll take this about 2 more times. So inhale your bottom or your front bicep by your ear. Keep inhaling, come all the way up. Exhale, lower hand to foot. Inhale, lift, keep bicep by ear. Exhale, lower down. This time we'll stay down, so keep your hand to your foot. Front knee's bent if you need it to. Then turn your chest open to the side. Push your feet down and apart from each other. Option to fly your top arm. Now looking down can be very grounding, looking up more invigorating, so take your pick. Practicing your breath here. You might even think of screwing the feet into the ground, the heels of the feet into the ground, just like we did the hands earlier. Inhale. Take your top hand to your hip, bend into your front knee. You can even rest your chest on your thigh, taking a bit of a breather here. Now we're setting up for revolved half moon. So we're going to take our front hand out to the left a bit. If you've got a block, you might want to use a block. Then as you lean into your front leg, lift your back leg up in line with your hip. Now you notice I've got this deep bend in my front knee, and I'm probably going to keep that bend today. If you want to straighten your leg, you certainly can. Feel that back heel lift up in line with the hip if it's not already. Option to turn your chest open to the side, a lot like our revolved triangle. Once you get there, feel the breath in your nostrils as you inhale, and hear the breath in your throat as you exhale. Stay here for your remaining breaths, or bend your lifted knee, maybe even grabbing hold with your top hand and kicking hand and foot into each other. Now, a good way to lay the groundwork for this pose is keeping the bottom knee bent. Last breath or two. Inhale. Slowly, carefully rewind your pose, downward facing dog as you exhale. Send some nurturing breaths into the back body, into the backs of the legs. Steady the eyes. Unhinge the jaw. Left foot steps forward, screw your back heel into the ground, and come on up with your straight legs. They might be jello legs at this point, and that's okay. Hips facing forward if you can, then right arm comes up by the ear. Inhale, find your big global extension. Exhale, slowly lowering your hand onto your foot, bending the knee if you need to. Lift your front bicep by your ear. Inhale all the way up. Just two more like that. Exhale, lowering down. Breath a little longer than movement. Inhale, lifting up. Last one. Exhale, lowering down. And once your hand is down on your foot there, you can even use your left hand here to square the hips forward more if you've lost that. Feel your feet push down and apart from each other. And option to turn your chest open toward the left. Using that space below the armpit of the bottom side to rotate. Option to fly the top arm. You can choose if you want to look down for more grounding or up for more invigorating. But do feel your bottom bicep turn out. And can you find your spherical breath here? Inhale. Take your top hand to your waist and bend your front knee deeply. Enough to rest your chest on your thigh if you can. Then your right arm goes like below the right shoulder and then forward a bit. Forward quite a bit. Revolved half moon. As you lean forward, start to lift up your back leg, flare your toes. You can point or flex the foot, doesn't really matter. But use your hand, your left hand on your hip to feel them level out. Once the hips are level, you can consider straightening your bottom leg if you'd like. Stay here or revolve your chest open toward the left. Screwing your standing heel into the ground and breathing one shoulder on top of the other. Option to, if you did on the other side, to bend your aerial knee, maybe catch your hand to the foot and kick the two into each other. Wherever you are, feel and listen to the breath. Inhale, slowly, carefully, step your way back into downward facing dog. Pausing there to recalibrate. Wonderful job, everyone. Let's inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, step through to a seat. Good news, come on down to your back. Once you're on your back, give yourself a little hug, a little rock side to side. Let it feel good to massage the back body. Figure 4 pose, if you know it, do it. If you don't, you'll set your feet down, cross your right heel over your left knee, press your heel into that space. And you can stay there or grab hold of your left thigh, squeeze it in. I really enjoy rocking side to side here. Allow your shoulders to drop and rest. The back of your skull to be weighted down. Inhale. Exhale to release. Go ahead and switch it out. Left heel over the right knee. You might use your hand to press the thigh out. Stay there or clasp somewhere on the right leg. Maybe flexing the feet, or maybe even rocking side to side. Allow the rest of the body to be relaxed. Working with the hands, maybe the low belly. And softening through face, neck, and jaw. Inhale. Exhale to release. Happy baby pose. You can either just use your hands inside your knees and open the knees while flattening your low back. It's one way to do it. It's my favorite way to do it. Or you can grab the edges of your feet. If you're doing hands to feet, please push your feet to your hands and your hands back into your feet so you're working the resistance. Enjoy a few breaths to maybe straighten one or both legs at a time. And of course, if there's any other poses that you need to make your practice feel complete, you're always, always, always welcome to do what your body is calling you to do. And in your own time, you can release your legs long, your arms long. Let's clench the hands into fists and let them go a few times. Maybe also circle your wrists, maybe circle the ankles. Open and close your mouth a few times. Find an underbite, an overbite. Maybe stick out the tongue. And then allow yourself to arrive in stillness. Dropping all of the effort. And this is where we practice our deep listening. Listening to the sensations in your body.
the subtle sounds around you and within you. And as the thoughts come into our head, we acknowledge them and we allow them to pass just as quickly as they come. Rather than entertaining our thoughts, which we can think of as clouds or weather patterns, instead of following our thoughts, we observe the sky as a whole, noting that we are the vastness of the sky. So enjoy expanding into this vastness, listening to your experience. I'll wake you in just a few moments when we're through. You're welcome to stay as long as you like. If you're ready, you can start to deepen your breathing. Wake up your body any way that feels natural for you. Maybe take a big full body stretch. With your knees in, roll over onto your right side. When you're ready, come on up to a seat. Your eyes closed, your palms connected together. As we go through our week, let's notice if we get caught in the trance of overthinking, overanalyzing, and may we take time to get quiet, remembering that the quiet place is what gives us access to ancestral wisdom, access to our highest self, knowing that we can get quiet whenever we need. Thank you so much for joining us today. Namaste. Yay! Happy Wednesday! Welcome back, Sarah. So good to have you. Can I unmute everybody? Unmute all.
Yep. Hi.
Thank you so much for coming. It's super good to see you. So I just found out today that I'll be accepting another public class. Some of you from WD might remember Janet, who used to run our program. She now has her own company, and she hired me for Thursday classes at noon. So I have another public class now, and I'm super excited about it. So if anybody wants to come to that, I'll be sending out a newsletter for all the information on that today.
Great. Hey.
Very good. So much love to y'all. I'll see you soon.
Hey.
Bye.